I am Pascal Girard. Welcome and thank you to come to this webinar in partnership with ISA France organization. Thank you very much for your interest. It's really a pleasure to get this time with you from many places worldwide. We love speaking to you, you see. Thank you. I'm Pascal Girard at Stratton Worldwide Sales. After 25 years in development for industrial software, followed by 10 years in sales, I'm here at Stratton Automation since 4 years, enjoying to find out with our customers worldwide the best solution in the industries of automation, embedded, energy and utility. I know Matteo Catania.
Thank you, Pascal. Hello, I'm Matteo Catania, the head of customer service of Stratton Automation. My work is to follow my customer with all of my team to realize their projects, to unblock them in case of problems, to answer all their questions, but also to realize for them trainings which will bring the tools to use Stratton. My first goal is to make the dream of my customers a reality. And today, I'm going to make you a demonstration and explain you how Stratton is placed as a soft PLC developer.
Thank you, Matteo.
Thank you, Pascal.
ISA France. ISA France is a part of ISA organization, worldwide International Society of Automation, ISA, a non-profit professional association founded nearly 80 years ago. It's a global community of automation professionals with nearly 30,000 members all around the world. Their vision: create a better world through automation. They promote the standards by these actions. They have specific brands to promote for many industries the automation and its challenges like cybersecurity or wireless, for instance. Let us have a look now at the agenda of this webinar. Matteo and me will be with you during around 20 minutes. At first, I will introduce with a myth around Soft PLC. Secondly, I will present its superpowers. Then we will present briefly our company and what we do. And we finish, thanks to Matteo, with a demo explaining why we should have a look at Soft PLC for our solution. The term Soft PLC has been used for many years. And like many technical terms, it means different things to different people. Let's see its history. At first, at the origin, the Soft PLC was a software-based version of a programmable logic controller, a PLC, running on a PC, because this computer became more powerful and lower cost. Then PCs with such software could compete with traditional proprietary PLCs. And before 2000s came Linux and IC 61131 standard that has led to term PAC, Programmable Automation Controller. We could then have industrial controllers that had I/O control, PID, IC 61131 language programming, communication protocols, motion. And since this time, the engine can run on any CPU and OS, and even without operating system. Very tiny systems. Currently, it's just a software mechanism that enables to bring the PLC feature into any machine with processor. It's time for Dockerization and cloud computing, IoT, and so on. We can see it as a component. The machine can already have other hosted applications like HMI, motion, web server, data logger, communication, and we just add the PLC feature, bringing the link between IoT and OT and IT, in fact. It continues to go everywhere, as we can see it on servers running multiple engines in a virtualized environment. Soft PLC is a small software doing the combination of control, regulation, automatic task, bringing communication protocols installed on the device. With the editor, you have a possibility to develop application in any of the 5 languages of a standard. And many of us still think that these kind of software are not enough deterministic or not as reliable and rugged as required, or without the right level of security. But soft PLC today have many senses. At first, PLC engines were used by manufacturers of PLC or packs, and their role was to be a PLC. And today, all traditional PLCs are typically using a soft PLC, but you don't know. And then it came to RTUs for energy and utilities. But soft PLC can also be used by machine builders. And you don't know either where it is embedded in any equipment like a pump, weighing system, mobile automation, everywhere. We can see here one of its superpower, masking. Who could say that there is a soft PLC inside? This engine can work in very teeny environment, like with 128 kilobytes RAM. But soft PLC can be seen also in such platforms, completely different. The hardware is not specific. We find it off the shelf. The engine is used by organizations and not OEMs that are looking for PLC features in order to manage their process, like in electric grid management, time for digitalization. The strengths are here communication protocols provided, which can be easily certified, like IEC 850. Then it can go from Raspberry, edge computer, to servers that can manipulate 100,000 variables, for instance. Now, let's dive into the strength. Imagine you, OEM, get a request from a customer for a new software feature, only software. For example, you need the latest version of a communication protocol, but you don't have time to develop it. Do you think it could be possible with any standard PLC? That can mean I want to design my hardware solution and develop the application at the same time with a Raspberry, for instance. It's possible with a soft PLC. Or I can add the soft PLC feature easily on my computer. Or I can add the new protocol very quickly. Could I do that with a traditional PLC? As my application is written in PLC open standards, porting will not be difficult. Or I must change my hardware quickly. It's all time to market. It's also flexibility. When I can use the same app on different kind of machines. With a PLC soft, the same application can be ported to different hardware and operating system combinations, different kind of IOs or protocols. This means that I will be able to potentially develop and maintain common application or with the same base app that can run in different environments if needed. I can have the same device managing electricity and water, for instance. This will allow my customers to choose my specific combination of hardware and software, saving money on IOs and interfaces. And I want an open solution because I want to adapt the application to customer needs. And if my customer wants another software feature or protocol with it, it doesn't need to change his hardware. And for instance, I have to couple with an HMI, gateway feature, motion, or any functionality. Or I must include my proprietary stack, or I want to mix with my app developed with MATLAB or other language, but including is not opening. I want also to protect my knowledge, IP, secured into the PLC by encapsulating my proprietary logic. Then I can mix my features to a soft PLC features. This brings my device at the convergence of IT and OT, operations, intelligence, and communication. But following standards is not only a trigger for my market. The use of the standard 5 program language code can greatly reduce the cost of migration and to find resources. And following standardization with IC 61141, but not only, also for communication protocols. And this is a must-have for my customers, like for IC 850 or IC 10114. That means for energy market, my customer needs certified product for standards, either IC 850, I said, or IC 10114. And as I know, my supplier has a strong experience in this standard, having certifications done with other partners, I can be confident. And I want a soft PLC solution that keeps me up to date with changes from this standard. And this benefit can be passed on to my customers. Thus, I can focus on my business. And cost. Costs are very important factors. I make, especially the hardware and platform I want, with exactly the IOs and field buses I need, and not more. It is the best adjustment. Far from an off-the-shelf solution, that if I want to make thousands, €1 is very important. And as I go fast in the integration, it's less workload, then also money win. And I know that if I need more performance or complexity later, I can do it with the same solution. Security today. For security perspectives, I can have my partner giving me secure communication protocols, like with authentication and encryption, always up to date. And then I can focus on my business. I may want to have all the sources so I can master it better. But for others, security is also security for my product lifecycle. I want to be independent from the obsolescence of components or operating system. I want to master my product lifecycle. But it's also security for my intellectual property. I want to keep using my code encrypted. It's also performance. Performance in your use case with a short cycle time, or also to be able to manage a lot of variables in a multi-runtimes way with virtualization. And it's also product differentiation with a soft PLC. Many soft PLC solutions offer functionality over and above the IC 61131 standard. I want to keep the standard part, but also be open one thanks to that. The PLC feature is just a component that I can add to an HMI, like Xenon, or my proprietary solution like gateway feature, artificial intelligence, image detection, data mining. Possibilities are huge. And this turns my device to a 4-leaf clover. It can be unique. So, depending on your position in the project, developer, product manager, marketing, you may have different priorities. But there will be at least one superpower very important for you. We have shown the 8 superpowers of Soft PLC. And as we experience this since 20 years, let us briefly present our company and what we do. You knew Copa Data and Stratton before? And how it came? We are Stratton Automation in the Copa Data Group. We have the same goal since more than 20 years, developing automation software, Soft PLC Stratton and Xenon SCADA. And what do these two software have in common apart from the fact that we are part of the same group, using the same tools and rules? Well, we use the same stack and logic, Xenon logic for Copa Data. It is very effective when you are using both solutions. And here in French Alps, we develop software for industrial automation, which includes an editor, the Soft PLC, named also runtime, and other tools and stacks. Our goal is to develop the best software, always including new features. For you, what does it mean? It means to bring sustainable, competitive advantages to your customers. Some figures. This year, we have reached over 400,000 runtimes installed worldwide. And we are working with many partners since more than 15 years. We are active all over the world, thanks to our extensive network of Copa Data local subsidiaries and distributors. When you look into the systems around us, you see automation is everywhere. You see here trains, buildings, trucks, tanks, pumps, boats, wind turbines, factories, energy at production, transport, and distribution. Everywhere. But above all, you want to have control, regulation, automated tasks, sometimes in a rough and tiny environment, and more communicating at the edge of IT/OT. As automation can be everywhere, we cover nearly all industries. In other words, all sectors that require this control, regulation, automated task, and communication. We have references ranging from very small device for transport and small machines, then production machines, to power grid management with very big applications. That means 3 markets, to summarize: embedded, automation, and utilities and energy. Thank you. Let's see now, where are these superpowers in Stratton? Thanks to the demo from Matteo. Thank you.
Thank you, Pascal, for this introduction. Now, I will present you what it's possible to do with Stratton to develop your Soft PLC solution. So the first question is how Stratton works. On Stratton, our first product is our development kit. With this product, you have access to all source code of Stratton to develop your solution of Soft PLC. And with this development kit, you can generate and create one runtime who follow your needs. We have also one editor to develop your project which be running by the runtimes. So what we provide on Stratton Automation? Like I said earlier, it's the source code of the Stratton software. But the second thing that we provide is 20 years of experience to help you to develop your solution. Like I said, Stratton is a solution fits to your needs. So we will see how to configure your runtime. The first things that you need to choose is your sector of activity. For this example, we can choose energy. After that, you have one hardware. You can use Stratton on one computer, one microcontroller, one PLC, one RTU, and it's also available for a server. And to finish, you need to select your operating system, Linux, Windows, VirtualBox, or others. And it's also possible to run Stratton without operating system. For this example, I will choose Linux. And now I have one solution adapted to my specific needs. So now I have my solution. I can add a lot of things. Like you have developed earlier one software solution, you can use Stratton with this solution. You can develop drivers to access to your IOs. And you can use some functionality like redundancy. And on Stratton, you have also the possibility to use your solution with a lot of protocol of communication available. So now we can continue with a little demonstration on the Stratton editor. Here we are on the Stratton editor. Like said Pascal, with Stratton, you can use a language of programmation from the IEC 61131-3 standard. So you can find the FBD, the ST, the ladder, and the SFC for the state machine. When you program your project, you can use the very large library of function block available on Stratton. And you can see some function blocks are in black. It's because this function block it's from the IEC 61131-3 standards. On Stratton, you have also the possibility to configure your driver on the editor. Here, for example, I have set one configuration of Modbus master, but I can also use the very large library of protocols. And with the Stratton editor, you have also access to a lot of tools to create your project or for debugging. For example, you have the possibility to create some graphic page to monitor your application. You have also the possibility to create one ECD file with our configurator for the standard IEC 61850 standard. And other possibility, you can use recipe and other tool to make more easier your project. So thank you for listening. Now we can continue for the time to question and answer. Pascal?
Thank you, Matteo. That was great. Thanks. Let's have a look now on the questions you may have during this webinar. There's a mini hello. Yes, there was one question. coming. Yes, it's the first. Can I evaluate the performance of Stratton without having to buy the development kits?
Yes, sure, it's completely possible. On our website, we propose to use some runtime of evaluation with a lot of functionality of Stratton. You can use this runtime of evaluation for ARM processor, x86, sorry, and Raspberry Pi.
Yes, and this runtime for evaluation that you can get from our website have a lot of protocols that you can test also included in. They are just limited with 2 hours running. Second question, what is the place of Stratton software in an embedded solution architecture? How can we take the most out of it? So we will try to answer, but if it's not the complete answer, you can complete your question. But I should say we have told that Stratton could run in a very small embedded system with 128 kilobytes of RAM. Of course, that does need a lot of variables, but you can imagine with 500,000 bytes of RAM that should be okay. We can study your architecture and check what can be done. It depends on the protocols that you want to use. It depends also on the operating system you take. Even if we can run on any, that's also have an importance on the size taken and the performance that you could reach with your architecture. So first answer is it depends on the architecture, but it can run on very small. Another question, I am using Windows. If load on Windows appears, then will it affect the Stratton performance?
I think I can answer yes. So yes, if you're on a Windows platform or over, if your processor or your RAMs are really busy, it's normal that the performance of the runtime can be affected by that.
Yes, Windows is not a real-time, but you can couple it with real-time operating systems. And there are famous real-time operating systems that can be combined with Windows, and for instance, in time, which is one, which is very performance running with Windows. Yes. Another question, do we have to pay for all of your communication protocol? I can answer. In fact, most of the communication protocols are optional. It's right, because we cannot give you all the 20 or 25 protocols in standard. That would be expensive or take a big place. But at least we give Modbus and CAN in standard with the dev kit. And then you take optionally protocols like 850, Ethercat, Ethernet IP, and OPC UA, and so on. These are optional, but it's only an investment. It does not rely to your sales. Question from yes, Patrice. Is the Soft PLC an interpreted solution, or does it generate a compilation? Do you want to answer, Matteo?
Yes, it's a. Sorry, I am not on the good question. Sorry. So yes, to running your project on Stratton, you need to recompile your project on the Stratton editor. That after the compilation, you can transfer it directly on your target, and how it's running. When you compile and when you transfer one binary file, will be executed by the runtimes.
Yes, I should say it's a pseudo-interpreted code in a way that it does not affect too much the performance, and that it could run on any machine, because you don't need to recompile in the machine language your application. This is important to notice that we don't need the compiler for the target. This is completely agnostic to the type of compiler or operating system. Yes, you say that you are multi-platform. It is compatible with Schneider, Siemens, Rockwell, and all the systems, or only codices-based programming? I let you. Yeah. Okay. We are multi-platform. It's right. In fact, it could be downloaded on some PLCs or RTU, which are not by default hosting Stratton. And we have many experience since the beginning with different kind of big players like Vago, Siemens, and so on, because we got requests and we continue to have requests from the market because we think we have the best solution, and the market shows that to us. So it depends on the protection and on the environment in this kind of machine, of course, because the machine can be protected to avoid receiving another runtime, of course. But we have experience like with Phoenix Contact, for instance, which have some devices which are hosting the runtime in order to get features that they don't have today. So it's also very a big strength for some machines. And we have also experience in Siemens bringing new features also. So it depends on the architecture of the target, of course. Will you send us the recording? This is another question. The answer is yes, we will. Yes. You will receive an email.
Yes, and the recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel.
Yes. And do you have any materials and documents which we can experience each of functions of your Soft PLC step by step?
Yes. On the first step, it's our YouTube channel where you can use some tutorials to start to use Stratton. And we have also on our website some documents to test one getting started with Stratton, but we have also access to some tutorials to start to use some protocol available of Stratton or other functionality. It's really complete, and you can download it, all documents directly on the download page of our software.
Yes. I type the address you already know, maybe, but I type the address of our website, then you can get a lot of information like the datasheet and all tutorials and also links to movies and evaluation runtimes, editor, and so on. Next question. Open protocols is not enough. Openness means that Soft PLC should interface to an open database. What is the approach of Stratton?
If you want to have access to database, we have some solution for that. But the first one, it's you can connect, for example, one SQL base with in a MySQL or SQLite to exchange some data directly with the database and send your query really easier with Stratton.
Yes, if you are looking about a database like SQL, we provide a driver to connect, as said by Matteo. If you mean more database or library of protocols, you can connect also your protocols and continue to use your protocols. even if you get Stratton, because you can mix your stacks, your driver with Stratton. We have the tools to do it efficiently. Another question: what do you think about usage of Soft PLC and really high-level languages in the future? Will embedded development be more about these kind of tools? You want to answer? Or you let me? Okay.
I need 1 second to understand the question.
Really high-level languages in the future? Yes, at least today, with Stratton, we can connect our applications made by the editor to application written in C, C++, or MATLAB Simulink, for instance. So there are links to connect to other kind of language. Maybe you mean other high-level languages, of course. The matter is also to get the deterministic, the real-time way, of course, to host in a PLC, but it can be studied.
And on our roadmap, we plan to find alternative to don't only use what the software with the editor. We'll search some solutions to develop your application more easier wherever you are.
Yeah, exactly. And let's check if yes, one. Can we modify Stratton to adapt it to our own configurator on our devices? And if yes, which services can be provided to us to adapt our solution? I'll let you answer.
Yes, if you are one software ready and you want to add some automation feature, you can use the Stratton runtime, and also on your configurator of your software, you can add some widget to add some functionality of from the Stratton software.
Yes, exactly. In fact, the editor has a part which can be configured in order to let you do the setup for your own protocols or your IOs. We name it configurator, this part in the editor, so it can be completely customized for your use case. Yes. Can we do safety programming with your Soft PLC? If we intend safety programming by safety solution, for instance, SIL2, this would be the first answer, I should say. We have SIL2 type runtime. It's different kind of runtime, but it's a SIL2 ready runtime. If you intend safety programming, but you mean programming with safe and programming in a secured way, we are using protected access to get to the runtime and also to secure the software development lifecycle, because COPA data is IC 62443, for instance. So this could be the second kind of answer you may have. If you don't like my answer, you can continue your question. Thank you.
Just to add on the 12 version of Stratton, we have added one security behind the editor and the runtime to protect your developments. And on the Stratton editor, if you want exchange some value with another PLC, you have also the possibility to use our protocol secured by the TLS authentication. This security is available on the OPC UA, DNP3, MQTT, the IEC 6870, and the IEC 61850 protocol.
Yes, PLC, QTT. I think you have been yes. Thank you, Matteo. Next is, can I use AWS services or any cloud by Stratton?
AWS?
Yeah, AWS, Amazon Web Services. A part of the answer could be by using MQTT, for instance. Another part of the answer could be also by the web monitoring, because you can host your Stratton in such cloud.
So I think we don't have ready to use for the AWS cloud, but to lay Stratton with a cloud, yes, like say Pascal, it's possible to use MQTT to exchange information. And if you use the Xenon software, for example, you have a many driver use. For example, one to communicate with the cloud Azure by Microsoft.
Exactly. Xenon is compatible. Yes. Next question. What is the interest of putting a soft PLC on a system which has no I/Os? You want to answer, Matteo?
Yes, you have many possibility to use one soft PLC for without I/Os. For example, the first one, you can just create one gateway of protocol. On Stratton, we have the possibility to use many protocols. So you have the possibility to create gateway to be compliant to all your production cycle, and to be compliant with all device on the industry. Also, you have the possibility to use one computer without I/Os. I completely agree. But if you have some device, Profinet, Ethernet IP, you can use your controller to access to the I/O of slave and centralize all information.
Yes, this kind of configuration is very popular in the energy market, where these RTUs are managing a lot of I/Os, but only, in fact, network I/Os, I should say, from IC850, from Modbus, from MQTT, from different kind of environments connected to the device. So it's not local I/Os, of course. Okay. This is the reason why Stratton can manage 100,000 variable, for instance. Yes. Next question. If we already have a driver available to access to our local I/Os, can we integrate it to your tool, like a driver dev kit? You can answer that?
I think yes, you need to do a little work, but if you have already created your driver, you can completely your solution with the development kit, because you have all source code of Stratton to use it.
Yes, there is everything to mix with your code written in C or C++, for instance. You keep your driver, you connect your driver thanks to the driver development kit. You connect to your driver to Stratton, exactly. Maybe it's the latest question. Also, is there a safety-oriented runtime available? Yes, I said we have made, I think maybe 4 or 6 years ago, a runtime ready for still 2 safety pre-certified runtime. We should name it. It's the same editor, but the runtime is dedicated to safety. Did we answer to all your questions? If you have any other remarks or question, we can wait. We see somebody is writing something. No, it's okay. Yes, said. Thanks, Patrice. Okay, if you have no other questions, We thank you very much for this exchange.
And sorry, Pascal, and don't hesitate. If after this webinar you continue to have some question, you can contact us to sales@straton-plc.com or support@straton-plc.com. Don't hesitate.
Thank you very much. We wish you a nice end of week.
Thank you for your listening and see you soon.